has the surprise factor. If he can dash in on you, if he gets an aggressive support that can start off with one stun, then they can roll that into kills pretty easy.
And that's kind of been C9 in general. They've been typically very good at laning. Every single one of their members have made Challenger in solo queue, but their shot calling's been a little bit weaker. Their actual playmaking mid-late game. So yeah, you get the lane bullies in there, you do a whole bunch of stuff early on. Probably better for them. Elise, Katarina banned away by Cloud9 Eclipse. Meet Your Makers dropping the Riven Kale and Yasuo out. So there we go. And the cast making the 6th
There's
ban.
some of your research that you're talking about. You know, they saw the Katarina, wanted to take that one off the board. That's definitely not a common ban. Obviously targeted here on Charu due to their last game matchup. So I like that reaction there from Cloud9 Eclipse.
Yeah. And here, though, the first pick Thresh coming in right away here for Meet Your Makers, going to Libic there. And Q just insta-locks Lee Sin right off the bat.
I mean, Thresh is always a good first pick in my opinion because he's such a playmaker. Even if all the supports are up right now, like Annie's still up and Leona are still up, the other big two. Thresh is, like, there's not a bad matchup for Thresh. It's just how well can he do in that lane.
And not to mention, it's Voidal's like most played like ever in the world. Zed coming through here, picked up. I'm guessing for Forbidden, he's generally an assassin player. The Riven ban was aimed at him. The Yasuo ban aimed at him as well, for example. So something else comfortable for him with the Zed.
Yeah, you know, all the melee sort of AD carries have been getting super popular. Even Pantheon coming back in the mid lane. It's just, there's a lot of risk for Pantheon, though, that Zed doesn't have. Since Zed has the shadow that he can use to escape. Pantheon, when you go all in, you're stuck going all in, and you can get ganked really easily, whereas Zed does have an escape.
I have a button for that. I didn't hit it. We'll try again.
Feeling okay today, buddy?
Yeah, I'm doing okay. Sorry, I just got something caught in my throat. But the thing that's interesting to me, so Gragas gets picked up. I'm surprised to see a mid lane pick so early, or at least a obvious mid lane pick. We've seen like top lane Zeds before. Nick, we used to play it a bunch. I'm curious if this is a bait from C9E.
So, you're saying the Zed obvious mid lane pick here?
Because quote unquote obvious.
Yeah, exactly. It has been played. Diamond played in the jungle. They could pull a gambit over here on us, but I think you're right. Zed going really early is going out on a limb, but look how many other bans they use. Kale's already banned out, so there's not that answer. I feel like that's a pretty safe pick.
Okay, so that comes on through. The jungle Lee Sin, the top Mundo coming through, the support Annie as well, and of course with Lucian picked up. C9E is going to wait for the last pick to grab the AD carry. I'm surprised with that, though, just because they could have waited for a counter pick top lane. And
we talked about how big of an importance Lucian's going to be this whole time because he's had so much success on it, whereas, you know, failing a lot on Caitlyn. And, well, they've already answered their AD carry here. Lucian and Thresh lane, that's a pretty strong lane. I guess they can answer with anything because there's not really a weakness to Lucian Thresh. So they can just leave that one till the end.
Okay, so Meet Your Makers, last couple of picks to come through. They know the Mundo top. They know the Lee Sin jungle with Elise banned away. And who else? But looks like Vi right here going to come through. And Trundle also going to make his appearance. Percent health, percent armor, MR steal. Why not fight the tankiest top laner of Mundo with that one?
Yes, it will be an interesting matchup. I've seen Trundles just outright win that lane in the beginning and then never let Mundo even get back into the game. Usually we're like, oh, Renekton Mundo matchup. Yeah, Renekton's going to win early, and then later on Mundo's just going to bully him and be a much bigger threat. But Trundle in the late game doesn't really have that weakness since he can steal away the percentages that Mundo can build up. So I've just seen Trundle's like be stronger than Mundo all game long.
Oh, man.
So I really do like that matchup. I think that's a good counter pick.
Okay, and now here Jinx picked up here by Cloud9. It's going to be Yearnin playing Jinx here. Haven't seen him play it at all so far in this tournament. So plays it in solo queue. It's actually his most played in solo queue. He's top 5 challenger. I trust him to do well here. But I'm just saying we haven't seen it here on the stage. I want to see if he keeps it up.
So I really like Jinx paired with an assassin like Zed because whoever he's going to deathmark, it's going to be a squishy person, right? He's going to get to the back line, and that's going to get Jinx her first movement speed buff. We're getting excited. And man, it's so hard to deal with a late game Jinx who has that movement speed buff in the team fights because usually your AD carry has to kill a front line and you don't get to deal damage to the backline until everyone on the front's dead.
Yeah.
But she can actually maneuver herself around the team fights so well that you can take out higher priority targets first. And it's just a really good quick chain of events there that they can just wrap up team fights.
And the only way I'm seeing her drop down is I look at the other team for Meet Your Makers, and it's like Gragas and Trundle. And it's like, Pillar's going to keep you from running away, and then maybe they pop you in. But it's not like a Jinx Thresh where you can get lanterned out and stuff. Like, if they do catch Yernan, he's going down.
I mean, when you pick the Trundle and the Gragas, you have to make good use of those displacements to set up the battlefield in your favor. If you're taking someone that has something like a Nivea Wall or a Trundle Pillar, and you can actually alter the terrain that you're fighting on, then you have to do that to make your opponents move into a bad position. And if you aren't able to take advantage of it, then you lose out on a lot of potential for that champion.
Well, we'll see if they can do it here then. Charu, here's a random thought. Went Exhaust on Gragas. So instead of typically we see Ignite Gragas and it's like, I'm going to kill you, he's like, I'm afraid of the Zed all-in. I'm going to grab Exhaust and not die to the dive.
That, to me, is saying that he doesn't want to have to use his ult defensively because, you know, usually Gragas like, oh, Zed just came in and ulted me. I'm gonna knock him away and then body slam so he can't get back to me with that shadow. But he's just going to, like, take it and exhaust Zed as soon as he comes in with the death mark.
And maybe just like fight back.
Try and kill him there. Just body slam him there, and you're like, well, you're stuck next to me now, and your shadow's also right next to me. You're not going anywhere.
See if we can do it. Here we go. Yernan chilling. Libic laughing at him.
We got a missed trinket here. Ding, 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 ding. Alert. Makata is...
it's okay. He brought a ward.
Lax in here.
It felt like overkill if you got a trinket too.
Okay, so he wanted to give them a little chance here.
Can't believe he just did that. This is semifinals of Challenger.
This is a next level plan here. I think he's going to.
You see,
he didn't want to give away the fact that he's going to start off with a blue trinket. He's going to get the scrying orb, and he was worried that their opponents would see him in the early level 1 invade. And he didn't want to tip them off, so he's going to back and go get it.
I can't believe you missed that cleaver.
Well, it's getting a little dangerous here.
All right, Kuban. Wow, they actually go in. Okay. Well, I guess jungle haven't spawned yet, so no big deal. There's the ward down. And Makata, at this point, has to have realized he didn't get a trinket, but it's too late to go back.
Yeah.
And maybe it's on purpose. You're right. Like, maybe it really is on purpose. And he like didn't want them to see he was going to go for a lens or something.
Well, I was being facetious for sure. But
like, the thought is, like, if you sell a trinket and rebuy, it's a 3-minute cooldown.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't... I mean, no, you're right. It probably doesn't matter.
All right, so they do take advantage of the Annie early invade. I like that. Anytime you have something like an Annie support or a Zyra, even though we don't see Zyra supports very much anymore. I really like going for those early invades, even though they've fallen out of popularity. Look what they've gotten with it. They had Vi has to start blue by herself.
Yeah,
it's going to take a lot more damage than usual. Wow, Lee Sin actually got help on his first buff, and he'll be a lot more healthy.
I just realized that Vi's passive doesn't trigger on her W proccing. It has to be one of the active abilities. She doesn't get a shield.
Yeah, it has to be a
I didn't know that.
Oh, okay.
I was just like, because everyone hits E anyway, and I'm like, oh, it's always on cooldown. But it specifically doesn't trigger if it's just the W. Just a random thought. Did you know?
It's the blast shield.
Yep, the blast shield does not trigger on denting blows. Whatever, he's going to be fine getting the rest of his buffs. Seems to be running out of potions, but will clear the jungle away. Left one of the buffs up as well. The Dwamna taking some damage on his way around. 2 CS with cleavers so far.
Now, since he took the long way around, we have to keep a close eye on the experience differential between him and Kuban. Doesn't look like he got too far behind, just because... Oh, there's the exhaust comes out.
He's really trying. Ignite goes back onto Charu. Fabivan's going to get away from this one. Burns the shadow to do it. But now Summoner's traded. Low HP on both.
All right, Ku is going to walk right past this trinket ward here from Kuban, but he's already inside the turret.
All right, Voil takes 2 turret shots, misses the Q. Ignite is on. Do they have the damage? Q running away, will die. First blood, they do not trade the buff in time, but the kill going over to Kuban as well. He's not sad about that.
Yeah, ended up getting first blood anyway, but you deserve to die for that when you miss your Q. So I think everything turned out all right.
Oh my gosh, the Flash Lantern, the pull lands onto Dwamna. They're still trying. No flash left on Muno. Do they have the damage? 200 health. The dash forward from Lucian. Another attack. They're going for this one. Play lands, picks up the kill. Meet Your Makers 2-on-1 takes down Dwamna.
All right, Mackler definitely going to have some success on Lucian as well this game. And I have to say, that was a really good job there by Libic, setting up that entire play, landing every single ability.
Yeah, absolutely incredible stuff. Dwamna teleports back down. sad about that death. Maybe he will be okay as time goes on. The first blood going to Lucian. Not Lucian, but Lee Sin. Got him boost his speed. Now Voidal's getting jumped on. Makata shows up. The slow is there. Half HP. Voidal does have the flash. Uses it. The chase, though. Makata picks it up. Meets your makers 3-1. And now Yernin, he's trying to get away from this one, but I don't know if he's going to be able to. Flash and barrier still available. Goes for Makata. Just going to go down. Didn't even try to leave.
Beautiful pillar to set that one up, by the way. Making sure that Mokate will be able to land his Vault Breaker because Annie is slowed and trying to walk through the little crevice there. I like that synergy there between top lane and jungle. Very well played to answer back. And MYM jump out to a really nice start here.
Absolutely incredible for these guys. 1,000 gold already in the lead. Tabivin and Charu, again, trading blows. Level 5 on each now. Either one really trying to get away from this one, but Ku is going to show up to the mid lane. Charu, do you have the jump? Dodges the Q. He's safe.
All right, so with the extra counter gank up there top from Mokate, it is going to buy Kuban a bit more time, too, with his turret because it was almost about to go down.
Yeah.
The thing is, you can sometimes use the fact that your turret's about to go down as bait and return with Vi now because he knows there's no summoners left. Annie used her flash. He can return up there and try and kill Annie again using that turret kill as bait. Same idea as using like cannon minions as bait in lane. But he doesn't want to go for it this time around, so it looks like it will go down.
Well, and speaking of cannon minions as well, Voidal picked up a relic shield on Annie. I don't think I've ever seen that combo before. Like since the initial patch where they made it melee only the execute.
Yeah, so the guy in Rocket was talking about how he takes it on Thresh. Yeah, the Targon's there, and it doesn't, it doesn't have the execute, so it doesn't help you shove the lane. But if you're not going to be using a Dorian shield in combat early because it's Cloud9 Eclipse calling for the lane swap here, might as well go for a gold generation item. And face of the mountain at the end, providing that shield is huge. Yeah,
Voidal's a player I've seen get face the mountain a lot. And thinking about it, it was also on screen. You can just last hit with your Q, and so you get it's basically free on mana. You get to charge your stun, and wow, what a hook on a Q.
Yeah, actually, I think I remember Voidal talking about how he loves Face of the Mountain, and he will pretty much never get the Ascension, Talisman of Ascension. He always prefers Face of the Mountain over that, just so that he can provide that extra shield.
Well, let's see what pans out. Urinen might just need it to stay alive in these fights. We'll see what happens. It's weird, the shield does scale off of max health, and Annie's not normally a champion that's going to stack a lot of HP. We'll see what happens.
See how he goes here. He's got the Doran shield comboed with it.
All right, Zap lands on a Makata. Charu's around as well. Looks like this little two-man invade's not going to do too much for C9E. Ku is coming around, though. This team's still trying to posture for this buff.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to go to a Smite Ward here. I'd give the advantage over to Lee Sin because he's got an Annie zoning for him.
Yeah, puts the stun down. Execute goes in. Good blue buff steal there by Ku. And I feel like it's going to be really hard for MYM to answer and take the other blue buff away.
Yeah, the jungler's in the wrong spot. Because their jungler's trying to contest, he has to go all the way over there. But he will have the advantage of the 2 versus 1 lane. So it'd be all up to Cloud9 Eclipse if they want to answer this. They would have to send more resources down there, like Zed or something, to roam from the mid lane. But it doesn't even look like MYM are making that call yet.
Yeah, they're happy to stay on their side. There we go. Makata running around, level 5. Ku is 6 there on Lee Sin. Bottom lane turret did go down. They sent Libic back to recall, so Meet Your Maker's really not putting people around there.
Yeah, I mean, they had Charu recalled and he was in the fountain. Zed returning to lane first. Means it's a bit dangerous for Makate to go over there. And with him just now using his smite, I would definitely not expect the invade.
All right, so 3-for-1 buffs on the second rotation here. Cloud9 Eclipse keeping their dual lane down on this side of the map, putting a little bit of damage onto this turret. Not too much, though. Kuban, level 6, 34 minions, actually tied with the opponent there. Voidal taking some damage from the white as well. Half HP. Libic goes to show up, lands a Q onto a minion. Better than nothing. Voidal getting knocked around. Flamethrower's not going to help with this one. Level 5, he goes down. Kuban, 3-1-1.
Oh, he gets the white, though.
Good zap there, Yernin.
That white was attacking the entire time. Pretty big DPS from that white in the team fight, but Trundle comes out on top once again, and they kill Voidal. Yeah. Even with the tankiness that he's gone, going with the Doran shield and the relic as well, not helping him out.
And he's now added a Targon's Brace as well, so tier 2 version of that item. We'll see if it matters. Sightstone, though, already done for Libic. So right now, Cloud9 adding more gold to their roster, but the actual wards are going to be free here for Meet Your Makers. I'm going to see how that pans out for these guys. Libic using that Sightstone, putting a ward down here. Still has the warding totem. I feel like you should always sell it for the red trinket whenever you get a Sightstone, because you're probably not going to use them ever.
Just because you're limited in the wards that you can place anyway. I do like upgrading your trinket ward to the pink ward pretty early, but you know, changing out sweepers around this time is a really good time to do it, because then it'll be off cooldown by the time you hit level 9.
Yeah.
And man, does it really shoot, the value really shoot through the roof once you pass that level 9.
Yeah. So did you know, as long as you don't need the item slots, it takes 15 minutes for a pink ward dropper to pay itself off, because you could just buy 5 pink wards.
I like it.
And you lose the totem in the first place. So actually, I feel like, but you're right. This early, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
The game's easily gonna go that long. All right, Meet Your Makers. In an early lead, I gotta say, this is Cloud9 Eclipse is known as an early game lead team. Vivin, ooh, dodges the barrel, gets exhausted, though, getting chased down. Do they have the damage? Culling comes across, nice juke by Vivin, but it's not going to be enough. Charu will live this one as well.
Vivin did everything he could. He dodged the first barrel with the shadow, and then the second ultimate barrel with his ultimate, the death mark, but still gets taken down. Nice culling right there, actually coming and getting a kill.
A lot of good plays here. Makata already has Lizard Elder done. Going to be the same here for Ku when he gets that item completed. And the mid lane being pressured now. Meet Your Makers looking to make it 2 turrets to 1. Mid lane going to go down successfully. These guys are doing an excellent job early game. And what I was saying before is C9E is normally it's a bunch of solo queue all-stars who win their lanes really hard and have a harder time late game, but Meet Your Makers beating them at their own game.
Yeah, this strong of an early game start is amazing for Meet Your Makers. They do have a very, very strong set of champions for catching people out, too. As we saw before, you know, Charu can make you have positional mistakes, and then they can capitalize on it really easily because of the long range of Lucian culling and Vi's ability to lock down anyone that gets knocked aside.
Yeah. See what pans out with these guys. Honestly, 3,000 gold put Meet Your Makers in the lead. A large percentage of that is from Kuban. He's gotten help from a couple of different sources. One time it was Libic, one time it was Makata. But just 4 of his team's 6 kills. Libic still trying to steal things away. Yeah, it's going to be Kuz. All right, he picked that one up at least. But, man, it's rough now. C9E, they're on the back foot here. They've got split pushing power. They've got a Zed in there. They've got Mundo with teleport as well. Like, I feel like they can stretch this game out for a while. But Meet Your Makers, they've got 28 games of LCS experience. They've got to know how to play with this kind of a lead.
Yeah, so to stall it out, the biggest thing you need is wave clear.
Yeah.
Like split pushing, it would be strong if Mundo can be slippery enough to get away with it when they collapse on him. But Zed's wave clear, now that the shadow cooldown is a lot longer, isn't up to par with like Gragas and Ziggs and stuff. So I think they might actually have a hard time stalling it out, you know, under turrets, because Jinx is also a little bit behind in CS, behind Lucian, and she's not to that point where her rockets can like obliterate a wave. So they'll probably be struggling, I think.
Yeah, so no BT Shiv, certainly not. Bloodthirster's probably done by now. We're past 15. We're like at like 13 minutes in or so. Bloodthirster around 13 is like average. That's like, okay, you CS and didn't get any kills. And in a 2-on-1 lane, I feel like she's doing okay there. So like Bloodthirster, definitely not Shiv. Another like 5-10 minutes till that one comes out. And like Moon, and with Kuban being 3-1-1 on Trundle, he's gonna beat up Mundo in a fight.
Exactly. If they meet each other in the split push, which they probably will, because they're the 2 with teleport. Like, they have the 2 tanks with teleport, and they're building the same way, too. They both have Giant's belts and armor. Trundle is definitely going to have the advantage at this point, you know, taking away the percentage of his HP. Nobody has Ignite, though, so it's hard for Trundle to actually finish him off. But he can bully. You don't have to finish off Mundo. You just have to bully him out and establish yourself as the split pusher that's drawing more resources. And that's going to free up the rest of the team to make their plays.
Yeah, we're getting ourselves back into the game real quick. Just a quick pause, but we're okay with this one. And, you know, you kind of talked about Trundle as well. The build I really liked. I mean, this is a Darien special, but Tiamat Trundle. Because it gives him a bunch of wave clear and lets him like get around the map a lot more quickly.
Also, he regenerates a ridiculous amount of life if you upgrade it to Hydra. because he can throw down his W and you get the increased healing.
Yeah.
It turns it, like, it's a very deceptive way of tanking by tanking with lifesteal, but it gives you a lot more effective HP.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, you're right. I really do like the idea of that one. And a random did you know with Ravenous Hydra is the passive on it that says damage dealt by the splash works with lifesteal. It's actually 50% lifesteal efficiency.
Yeah.
If you had like 12% lifesteal from the item, all the AoE damage returns 6% life back. FYI, basic lifesteal is the same. Everything else you hit is half effectiveness. So just information for you guys. Run a number crunch the item. There you go.
We could have another exciting white fight over here, but there are some defensive wards from Cloud9 that do still need to be cleared out. We were talking about the, trade-off of sweepers.
Oh! Barrel steals it away. Ku's going to kick Charu back. It's going to be a pretty close fight. Oh, Dwamna shows up. There's the ulti in from Zed. That's going to be a kill picked up. Fabivin happy to have a blue buff. He could have... Nope, he's out. All right, he's safe now. Actually, this team grouping towards the top lane. The Dwamna here to help the team as well. It's going to be a bit of a split here, but I feel like C9 could defend that 2v2.
Yeah, and, they have the threat of the Flash Tibbers right now. So even though MYM can push them in, and can, even clear the wave out really quickly with culling and maybe get a double shot off on the turret. When he goes for that double shot, he's always going to be very skittish because you have to respect the initiation from Voidal. Even though Voidal's been getting killed a couple times, he's got the power to 100% AD carry by locking them down with Hjarnan's follow-up.
Yep. Well, here we go. White again. I like the use of Flame Charmers. It pulls, or it gives vision. And nice. He last hit again with Zap, trying to make sure Voidal doesn't steal that one away. It's a good choice. Or not Voidal, sorry, Libic.
Ashes and dust.
Just so used to seeing him on Thresh.
Yeah, like I saw Thresh and I just kept getting the names wrong. Also, C9E's been blue team almost every single game. In addition to their logo being blue, because the Cloud9 logo, and I just like, my brain keeps screwing with me. The Meteor Maker's in red. Nope, Meteor Maker's in blue. Holy crap, my brain.
Now, there's a big difference here. The tanks are going the same thing, but the junglers, the builds, are differentiating because of the early mobility boots on Lee Sin. Both of them went Lizard Elder, so they both started out fairly squishy, but by immediately transitioning into more health, whereas Lee Sin's going for more mobility to try and make plays.
Yeah.
In the all-out team fight, it's going to be hard for this Cloud9 team because if Lee Sin goes in for one of the plays to try and kick back a high-priority target like Charu or Mackler, then he's going to get blown up. He might not be able to survive long enough to even get the Dragon Kick off.
We'll see blue buff grabbed by Charu there. Nice pickup in this one. Who's still looking for it. Kicks back Makata, who is a bit tanky, gets stunned, puts the Flame Trumpets down as well. Do they have the damage? Goes in for the engage instead of the Lantern. Tries to get away, doesn't do it. Lantern was right there, buddy. You could have taken that one in. Flash in from Libic. Is that too much? Hjarnan flashes the wall. Chased down by Kuban. He's trying to get away from this one. Down on the other side of the fight, still the battle is raging. Voidal with the double kill. Charu still chasing down Mackler. Trying to kite, picks up one. Dwamna Mundo, can he do it? Takes down the Lucian, but Charu answers back the other side of the fight. Battle still raging a little bit with Voidal trying to run away. Hjarnan did survive. Voidal messing with Charu.
Oh, dangerous spot right here.
Voidal's out of mana. The flash body slam lands. Hjarnan goes down. Big fight for Meteor Makers. 9-5 the scoreboard. 3,000 gold lead for these guys.
I think that was a 3 for 3 in the end there.
I think so.
So because of the last play by Charu able to grab another kill there, they even it out. But man, what an exciting turn of events. I have to say, starting it off with that weird play from Makata where he didn't take the Lantern, kind of got them off on a bad foot. You're right, he decided to ult to go back in and then flashed out and walked right past the Lantern.
Yeah,
second
he
time.
queued over towards the Tri-Brush.
A second time, so maybe they do need that improvement where your screen starts flashing green or something. Or
there's a Lantern.
Giant big arrow. Please click.
I feel like if you press W again, it just spams pings on it. Like it's an extra button there for Libic, for any Thresh player.
Or it has the voice from Ocarina of Time. Hey! Hey! It's Navi's voice. Hey! Click it!
Listen!
Hey! Listen! Yeah, that's what you need. You need Navi. All the Thresh players
need Navi.
To help tell teammates to click the Lantern.
Link would get really annoyed from CLG, though.
I
dealt with you before.
He'd probably love it.
I don't know. I feel like that's a like begrudging relationship with those two.
I like this fight though. Lee Sin waiting in the bushes means that Dwamna right now is just trying to bait Kuban in, but Kuban wants none of it.
So they actually trade blows fairly equally. I feel like Kuban hasn't fought anything in a while because he has 2 kills and an assist on his opponent, but basically the same items. I feel like he's just like waiting to like finish a Tiamat or something, or a Ruin Kick.
You got a feeling, Freak?
I mean, he just didn't even go for it. Just picks up a Negatron Cloak. What a hater. Does have 7,000 gold in his opponent.
Don't worry, that
700.
That was from the previous pause that we already had.
Yeah, he's back in. I do actually want to point out while we had the screen up where the gold kind of went, because you had Mockler pick up multiple kills in that last fight, and you can see he's 1,000 gold over Yearnin, the 280 carries, whereas Voidal got a double kill in that battle. His team's behind in global gold, and yet is still keeping up with Livik.
Yeah, not exactly where they want the money to go.
No.
They would definitely love Jinx to get to the point where she's got the Bloodthirster plus Static Shiv, because, like we said, they need help with the wave clear with these champions. Zed can do his part for one wave, but if they just wait for multiple ones, then it's going to be hard.
And I got to point out as well that Livik just still has not gone for a GP10. He's actually still out golding Voidal because of global gold and teamfight presence, but just got a Sightstone and said screw it.
Yeah, I like how you point out the value of Sightstone, though, as it's a, sort of a gold item, because you're going to be buying so many wards anyway. It's one, if you count it that way, on cooldown, the wards placed, it's the more effective gold.
Yeah, it's 75 gold a minute, I believe. Because yeah, you get roughly 3 wards every 3 minutes. So yeah, which is like 13 GP10. So I can't really hate. Team still looping around the mid lane. Dragon is available, just spawned up a few seconds ago. Meet Your Makers are in position first, and with an upgraded sweeping lens as well. The Oracle's lens now, they're getting rid of wards left and right. Pink wards on the entrance as well. They've got vision control, Meet Your Makers. Yeah,
they're definitely working on it, but it takes so long nowadays to clear out all the pesky little wards that even with 3 sweepers, they still have a couple stragglers in there. And you really have to upgrade all of those to the Oracles before you can be sure that the other team doesn't have vision. They've got enough, though.
Who looks for it? Box lands there from Livik onto Q. Getting played around. A lot of damage from the crowds. Kicks back Charu. Barrel comes in. He gets taken down. Dragon also went down for Meet Your Maker's favor. Vivivin into the back line. Goes down. Mega Death Rocket doesn't do enough. Yearnin getting locked into the back line as well. Mockler cutting around Odwamna trying to take him out. He might do so, but the rest of the team is dropping. Yearnin and Voidal trying to survive in the back line. They do take out Makata, and this team fight is turning around out of nowhere. That's going to be another shot landed, and now only Kuban is alive. Meet Your Makers. Wow, that fight went so well for Cloud9.
It went really well because, you know, Charo did use his ultimate to finish off the kill onto Q. The Lee Sin was about to get away and ulted one man, but the rest of the team then was able to swarm inside the Dragon Pit and take out both heavy DPS members pretty early on.
That was impressive, pretty impressive play there by these guys who have been taking someone out before he dropped for the most part. Another mid lane under siege. No one but Kuban is here to defend this yet. It's going to be Yearnin yearning for a turret kill. Looks like he'll get it. Lives up to his name.
Yearnin?
Yearnin yearning for a kill?
Yeah, I think we got it down now. Yearnin. Brain. Swedish brain.
Yep.
And he definitely got a nice boost in that last fight, too. So some more gold on Jinx is exactly what Cloud9 are looking for in this game. This is going to be a nice test, too, because they've got the reputation of, you know, bad endgame calls. Yeah. They can come back versus a team like Meet Your Makers, who are very experienced and have played together for so long that they have to have good shot calling in the end game. That's a pretty good sign for this young Cloud9 team.
And it's worth pointing out as well, like with Meet Your Makers, you talked about them playing together. Last week they wanted to play with Chuyu and didn't get their paperwork in time, so they had to play with Charu. The only guy left. This time around, they had another week, and they chose to keep Charu in the lineup here, saying, you know what, you actually worked really well for us last time. Keep it going, man. This is good.
Yeah, sticking to what works. Now, they timed the blue buff really well, but they're surrounded.
Oh, he got it! Nice. The Mega Death Rocket stole away blue buff. Nice play, Yearnin.
So after they use that, though, they don't want to have an actual fight. Really good win for Cloud9 because they're just trying to stall and sort of even up the money right now. Definitely don't want to go for the hard engage. And it's up to Meet Your Makers to try and force a fight. I'd rather see them siege up on like a top turret or something here. The outer turret that's still standing. Because they have a great siege team. I mean, Gragas and Lucian do really well around turrets, and they can poke it down pretty quickly with just getting in stray double shots. Then Trundle is one of the best champions for disengaged teams.
Yeah.
Like, he was the key to a lot of poke compositions.
He was.
Long time ago, before all this crazy top lane meta jibber jabber happened. So he's still a very strong champion that you would want to have if you do run any sort of siege or poking composition.
Oh, it looks like actually that little brush trap right there was sniffed out by Kuban. Didn't get picked up there. I mean, he played against Fnatic 4 games. He's used to that, people sitting in brushes looking for your random spots. So no kill picked up there in the top lane for C9E. They set the trap. No one stepped in the cheese. He's all right.
And that's another good example of something that works a lot in solo queue.
Yeah.
But not so much
I'd die.
experiencing. Yeah.
I would have died every time.
Right in there. What's in that bush? I'm curious.
Or I could have had a blue trinket and checked it and then known.
Curiosity killed the freak.
Definitely does that. Dude, potential of that brush was pretty high, but I ignore that usually.
So now that they have all these sweepers, and even, what is that? Is that a second upgraded sweeper? Dang, the cooldown's right over the bottom corner.
Yeah.
I think it is. So they got 2 upgraded sweepers now. They can start making a lot more plays. Like this play, where they can sweep out all the area leading up to the bush and then waiting in them. Because, like we said before, they've got so much catch potential with the Vi and then also death sentences from Libic. Ooh. Or Charo can just set him up himself.
And Voidal's likely to die here. Damage coming across, puts Tibbers down. The
and the death sentence!
Oh my gosh, can he live? Yes, the kill comes across. Vivid comes back though, kills off Gragas. Fight has begun 4v4. Libic in the back lines. Colin comes out for Vivid. Forced to flash away. Makler still chasing him out. The back lines to the other side of the fight still going on though. Kills coming back and forth. Yernan is staying alive. He's kiting Kuban. Can he get away? No. Kuban picks it up, gets the 500 goal shutdown. Takes the Lantern to get out. That fight, 2 for 3 in favor of Nature Makers.
They were able to come in at the very end there and save Libic. The Vivin wanted that last auto attack so bad you could see, but flashing out only delayed his death. It didn't save anybody. Another death sentence.
Wow, pull onto Q. He's going to survive this one, though. Kuban now getting run at by Otwamna. They're going to go in for this one hard. Slay's going to knock back both. Q forced to run away again. Makler trying to make it happen. Shield keeps him alive just barely. These guys are really trying to fight.
That's a pretty interesting brawl right there.
Yeah.
And I think that Kuban just showed how strong he is right now. Chasing down the AD carry with 2 tanks following him, and they weren't able to take him down.
Nice try.
That does not bode well for the Cloud9 team when the Trundle gets that strong.
Now it's a pretty unhappy thing. Q puts a ward down, doesn't, jumps to that one instead. Flashes.
Whoa.
All right, that was good. I feel like he would have lived anyway, but no barrel.
Game of leapfrog.
Yeah.
And Fu did not want to get caught.
And they both traded flashes, actually. Charo flashed to get into range partially more, so an equal trade actually by these guys, assuming the Gragas ultimate comes back from cooldown before too long. Charo, random interesting note, is maxing Body Slam second. I typically see them max the Drunken Rage, the W. Didn't go for it here. Only got 2 points in the W.
Yeah, it's a trade-off. You know, you get a little bit more damage and cooldown with the Body Slam. Oh, that's a huge chunk.
Goodbye. Didn't even proc the bodies, the death mark. Just took him out. Voidal zones away Libic as well. Bottom lane turret does go down, and you talked about that earlier. Baiting out a low health turret. Just showed up, took down Makler pretty convincingly. And Cloud9 EU, or Eclipse I should say, has a 5v4 for Dragon.
They can always go for the steals when you have a Gragas.
Oh man, so not. They kept hitting it. They should have let the barrel time out.
That was the only option that Gragas had to steal it too, because he was already walking away. You know, he wasn't going to throw the ult in there. He wasn't close enough range, and just the one barrel sitting there.
Damn.
They decided to try and burn it down through.
That was rather unfortunate for C9E. Freaking awesome if you're Charu. Yeah. He's playing really well. He's making some good moves, I gotta say.
Yeah, that was definitely a good steal by them to get back in this. Now look how the vision too, like it's such a close game here. Nobody really has been able to get past that river line of wards now.
No.
It's definitely very, very even coverage so far. And I think we will actually get to the point in the game where we're going to see the split pushing options. And we'll finally be able to see if Mundo can take Trundle towards the end game here. I think he'll have a much bigger advantage if he does actually finish that Blade of the Ruined King. You know, just sitting on the Cutlass does not add a whole lot when trying to take down Mundo. Just that slow isn't going to be enough because you know, he doesn't have Ignite either. And eventually Mundo will just walk away from it.
And he's building weird pieces of items too. Like he started towards the Spectre's Cowl, but it's like, actually I just want the stats from the MR. And then Actually, I guess he might even go QSS if he wants to survive Zed in these fights. Maybe. I'm not sure. But then he's like, I'm going to build more tankiness. I'm going to get another Giants belt, go towards like a Randuin's or something. And yeah, he's not committing to winning duels. He's not committing to tanking any one guy. He's just kind of adding stats. It's weird.
Yeah, so I think if he did go QSS, like you're suggesting, then that would tip off that he thinks he's going to be split pushing against Zed. Because in a team fight, Zed is not going to ult Trundle probably. So that would be a really big tip off that he thinks that's going to be the end game matchup instead of Mundo.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. It's at least MR for now. We'll see where he goes with this one. Odwamna and Kuban just chilling out so far. Just kind of trading minions back and forth, being really tanky dudes and regenning a whole bunch. I don't feel like this guy's going to die on either side.
The double split push is really working out for Cloud9, though, because before Trundle gets Blade of the Rune King, Odwamna can still go wherever he pleases. Now, the ward coverage is definitely not there. We talked about before how neither team has really gotten any deep wards in the jungle. So double split push is extremely dangerous because you're doing it against a team with Vi, and Vi can lock down anyone extremely easily. So it's a chancy game that Cloud9 are playing right now to try and get back into it, but it is a risk that they're willing to take at this point, and it's working out for them so far.
Yeah, it is doing pretty okay. We're seeing 1,500 gold separate these teams. Eclipse pulling it actually a lot closer than they were before, but Meteor Maker still holding advantage. Ult comes in. Kuban taking some damage. Ult's back onto Fabivin. Do they have the damage? Not quite enough. Kuban's extra stats do keep him alive through this one. Ulti comes across. Hits him in the back of the head. Nice kill. Yernan really outsmarting his competition there.
Now that's going to be a turret for them as well. Not only is it a bottom turret, but they also have the pressure on top lane because they were going 1-3-1 split push.
Yeah.
They have a huge advantage now, turning the kill into a lot of objective pressure all over the map.
Pretty awesome play right here. The mid lane now getting siege as well. Charu likely to sweep away the minions, but there's one more wave until Kuban respawns. And in fact, Wanda not even getting faced right now in the top lane. He might get that one for free. Yeah, and in fact, it looks like C9E just going to back up everyone else and let Odwamna just get that top lane pressure in.
Yeah, I'm really wondering who Kuban's going to choose to go fight in the split push, because if he upgrades his Negatron to the QSS, then he's going for Zed. If he upgrades the Cutlass into the Blade of the Rune King, then he's going to go for Mundo, and we just saw him get obliterated by Zed. So I'd definitely go the Mundo route and just try and avoid the Zed split push there.
And we'll see what happens to these guys. Yernan, level 16 now, 3 completed items. Similar here for Mockler, 15. 3 items for himself as well. It's getting out the Static Shiv for a Trinity Force. And it's going to be Infinity Edge now started for Yernan. Picks up the pickaxe. Got a long way to go until the item completes, though. About 3,000 gold. And I don't know if Mockler's got his way forward either. Makata sweeping away wards. And I got to say, both these teams now, 3 sweeping lenses, or Oracle's lenses. 2 sight stones overall for Cloud9 Eclipse. Only 1 for Meteor Maker. So there's actually a bit more ward game here for the red team.
I love that side benefit of the jungle Lee Sin. Not only does he have that amazing strong early game, but he does have a lot of other advantages like the vision. Ooh! Quick moves.
And that's not someone you want to pull. Odwamna likely to stay alive. We'll see though. Actually, wow! That was a hell of a lot of damage. Ulted on by Vi. Team's going to regroup. Makata taken low, takes a lantern out. Ulti comes in, they move away, and he takes the full rocket. Down to 20 health, but stays alive. Mockler getting chased, hits the cleaver, and they are still chasing down with this one. Mockler lower and lower on health. Does he get the friendship? Does he get the help? One more cleaver will do it. Takes him down. Odwamna with a little bit of help. Now in the bottom lane, Fabivin fighting Kuban. And Kuban, big chunk out of his health bar. Fabivin takes him out 1v1. That armor pen helping. Now can he outplay Sharu?
Yeah, it's going to be rough.
Exhaust comes in. Half HP. Slowed down. Namacon actually lowering his healing. Nice!
Oh my
flash!
God.
Isn't enough though. Gets his shield, flashes away. Charu taking damage, gets kicked away. Man, what a play.
Okay, replay please. That was amazing.
Well, Q's still in the fight though, fighting in a bit of a 2v2. Here comes Voidal as well. No root's going to land, misses the Q there as well. Chase on Olympic, no stun from Voidal. It's going to give the inhibitor over to Cloud9 EU. Or Eclipse, I should say. Keep getting that one wrong. Wow.
Yeah, if you're going to be the split pusher for your team, you got to have confidence to make the plays like that. And Fabivin just showing why he's such a huge fan of the melee melee carries.
Man, all right. So Cloud9 Eclipse really doing a much better job late game than I've ever seen them before. Making a bunch of plays, turning things around, fighting incredibly well. Putting the kills back in their favor, turrets back in their favor. And this game started with 2-1 on turrets, like early on, and now it's 7-2. They've done everything right. Dragon's there as well.
So
talked about them being weak as shot callers. They're doing a lot better here.
So yes, you know, you can give them the credit for doing so much better in the late game here. Oh, Voidal is going to find Libic, and that's a duel of the supports. It's just whichever support has more team behind them. All right, let's watch this again, just because this is such a cool duel. He goes in to dodge the first barrel. Yes, he got it away with a shadow. And then when exhaust is on him, he's trying to walk away. He's expecting the body slam here. So he just predicts the time.
Yep.
That was 100% prediction. You can't react that fast. What a beautiful play from Forbidden, making a case for himself right there.
Oh yeah, that was pretty freaking awesome. Ku as well, the Lizard Elder helping him secure the kill this one. Teleport's coming out of the wards. Ku's going to jump in again onto his Libic. Goodbye to Voidal though. 5v4. Mach in the back lines. Forbidden coming around. Ult comes in from Yerin. Who's going to die down first? Front lines trading blows. Makata goes down early on in this fight, and the chase continues for C9E. Adwamna low. Regening getting out. Charu falls as well. Double kill for Yerin. This fight's going all Cloud9 Eclipse right there. Quadra kill here for Yerin. Scumbag who steals the kill onto Kuban.
So that ace, they're going to end the game right here because it's 30 seconds for Vi as the first person. Wow, they just surrender. Because at this point in the game, you have to go for the Nexus instead of the Baron.
Yeah.
A lot of teams
with Baron
were just like, yes, it's a free Baron. We better get Baron while we can because nobody's going to steal it now. Always got to remember you can actually end the game.
Got to think every time, can we win the game right here? Can we take like 3 turrets? Usually worth it to go for it.
Yeah, and generally, when the timers are over 30 seconds like that, then just go for ending the game because the inhibitor turret was already gone. You're going to be able to get it.
Yeah, if you kill, they got the actual inhibitor themselves actually in the bottom end as well. Dead inhib plus ace usually means the game. MYM, as soon as they saw him run down, instead of go for Baron, they're like, all right, they got this.
The point I was trying to make before that, though, is like, yeah, we give them more credit, Cloud9, for ending the game strong. But the way that they ended it was by relying on their individual power. Just 1-3-1 split push and just single outplays. Just single matchups, and they had one person come down to the bottom lane to catch someone out. So I guess that's sort of the classic Cloud9 way to end the game. Rely on individual skill.
Rely on individual skill.
And yeah, that was a great endgame call, guys.
I gotta say though,
they
put Yerin on a global ranged AD carry so that if it's like, oh, you almost got him, it's like, I got this. Swings for the fences, picks him off.
That was a good ult.
That's the Vi stance, by the way. You wink and you kind of make a gun pointing to the camera.
Okay.
That's how it is.
Is it the gangster lean gun sideways?
Yeah, it's got to be sideways.
All right, so here's a do you know for any wannabe gangsters out there. Never actually hold your gun like this when you're going to shoot it because when it discharges, it's going to hit you in the face, and it's a very, very hot cap that's going to hit you in the face. That's why actual people hold the gun straight up so that it goes out the side and doesn't hit you in the face. You can blind yourself if you go like this. It looks cool, though.
What if it's upside down? What if I do the other way and the casing falls out the bottom?
Are you going to hit your leg or something there?
Well, I'll do it left-handed.
Better protect yourself.
All right, we'll see. Guys, we got to take a quick break before we make